Hello and welcome back to the Sword of Truth podcast, a chapter-by-chapter reread of the Sword of Truth series with a compelling craft brew on the side.
Oh.
Yeah. Isn't this compelling?
I'm compelled, yes.
Awesome. Wonderful. I'm Jade, and I'm here with Nate, and today we're laying out all of the evidence for chapter 29 of Soul of Fire. It's going to be good.
Yeah, there's the proof right there that there is a chapter
pudding.
29. I'm looking at it. You've got to be correct.
Yeah, it's in the pudding.
There's pudding?
That's where the evidence is. Can't you see it?
Why are you pointing to not pudding? I mean, if you're going to bring up pudding, at least have pudding.
You ruined the bit, Nate. You ruined the bit.
Feels good to be back.
You and Puck are on the same page here. Just coming in here and fucking shit up for me.
Just jumped on the table, just about deleted the notes about 2 minutes ago.
Oh, he deleted them. I had to restore them.
So this episode just about didn't happen.
Yeah. Dick.
But we're all set now. We've got the not pudding situation squared away, right? There is no pudding for sure.
Not that you are going to have.
Sure. Okay. I just want to be clear. Puck is no longer hitting buttons. We each have a beer, and there are notes on the screen. So I think we're good to go.
Yep. And I guess our pudding situation is today's moment of truth. And last episode, just a quick little recap here. Richard was trying to convince the whole group that the chimes are here and not the lurk, while dropping some more nuggets of info about said chimes. So much info about the chimes in this whole book that Richard knows from the beginning, but doesn't know. You know what I mean?
If you don't know,
now
you know, Mr. President. Yeah, I mean, it's a big info dump. Richard maybe doesn't have all the information at the surface, so it kind of, I don't know. We've talked a lot about that already, so I don't want to delve into that again too much more, but like severe lack of communication of exactly what he did and didn't know and what it was he was working through in his mind for big chunks of time.
I think that there's enough, I don't want to say double speak, but there's enough going over the same information in the books for us not to do that. So we're not.
Agreed. Fully agreed. Yeah.
Richard and Kahlan, at the beginning of this chapter, are walking off to have a private conversation about all of this.
Is that what you want to do today? You want to fight?
Kahlan does.
Kahlan wants to fight.
Yeah. He's like, let's go do this over here. She's like, okay, yeah.
I do appreciate that this is the catch me outside of marriage, where they're like, hey, can we just have a little conversation over here a minute? Just you and I? And then you walk over there and we're cool. We'll be right back.
Don't look out the window.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Immediately, the turnaround is, what the fuck is the matter with you? Why are you acting this way?
I wasn't going to say it in front of them, but you are so fucking wrong.
You're being an idiot right now, Richard.
I can't. I got to stand behind you and be like, but I can't. What the fuck, man? So my people in the Baka Taumana are acting chill. But as always, they are ready to throw the fuck down.
Everybody
any
here
moment.
is
Yes.
ready to throw down.
Yeah.
It's fucking great.
They're all staring off in the sky and just picking their nails with their shit. But actually, they're all just hair trigger.
I love that's exactly what it is. He's like, oh, that dude is ready to go. Oh, that guy over here just leaning casually on his spear is probably like sizing up distances and how many of these guys, if I took a couple of feet forward and then hucked it, could I get with just one spear throw? Like 2-3 guys, and they're all being their most violent selves while, like you said, just cleaning some dirt out of their fingernails and looking super casual.
We're just hanging out. We're just having fun.
This is every single person you meet in a pirate tavern, period.
What's also funny is that in my head, there are like some people leaning against trees, but also there's no trees. So they're all just standing around real chill, like
just leaning on their own coolness.
Yeah, basically.
It's like Fonzie. There doesn't have to be a jukebox, but the second he puts his elbow out to lean on something just
appears.
happens to be a jukebox there.
Because you know that none of these people are actually like sitting.
Yeah.
Like maybe some people are crouching,
But the weight's still on the balls
Yeah.
of their feet. Like, they're
Right.
ready to hop.
Right.
And Richard knows that.
And how chill can you act when you're in a group of people and nobody's sitting? You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
2 separate cliques of people. We're all just standing here so cool.
Like they drop you in the middle of an Expendables movie, and it's the scene where the main characters are hashing out their biggest difference. No
Yeah.
thanks. Someone's going to die.
Yeah, not gonna be good. So from here on out, they're gonna be the MP and the BTM, the 2 different groups.
That's actually a really good idea. Thank you.
Yeah, it's gonna be easier on me. It's gonna be easier on you. It's easier on my notes. Everybody's happy. So MP and the BTM,
The
and
military,
Kara.
police, and the...
Oh, that's the problem I was having while I was typing. I will tell you that.
I don't know what BTM is supposed to be.
It makes me think of
Second choice ATM, possibly.
BT. There's a music group that's something like that. I don't know. K-pop of some kind. I don't know.
I am the last person to ask about that. I don't know.
I don't know either.
I'm sure they're great.
Whatever. That's not who we're talking about.
No.
But the Mud People and the Bakatao Mana, MP, BTM, and Kara are 3 tries of a triangle. 3 tries? 3 sides of a triangle. We got there, okay?
We're
fine.
there.
Everyone
Triangle.
understands.
I'm
Everybody
with
gets
you.
The 3 tries of a triangle. You get it.
Yeah.
Basically. They're 3 people that follow them. Kind of. Like,
3 is significant.
yeah, somehow.
Sure.
I don't know.
Triangle,
The rule of threes.
child of trouble, etc., etc.
That said it.
I'm with you.
Kahlan knows that her man's heart is in the right place with all of this. But she wants him to stop insisting that he's right and see the truth. Just because he's the seeker doesn't mean he's right. So he needs to just, like, calm down and look at the reality of the situation.
This
okay?
is Kahlan's eye pinch. This
Yeah.
is her going, okay, Richard, I see you. But for just a second, shut the fuck up. Stop telling us that you're right and maybe listen to my logic as to why maybe you're not right.
Yeah. These points always get so maddening in my head, though, because when 2 people start being like, well, you are insisting that you're right. I'm like, well, but in so saying, you're insisting that you're right and that I need to stop listening to my points. And it's circular in my brain. And I'm like, we're never going to get out of this argument.
I think this goes back to maybe like Terry Goodkind was an objectivist, right? 2 people can't both be right about a thing. One person is right. There's only one truth.
Yes.
Is kind of the argument. So you can't both be right. You should both have respect for each other. You should both argue in a useful way as opposed to just bicker with each other and not communicate. But ultimately, yeah, if you have a disagreement, one of you is potentially more right than the other.
Correct. But I think where it gets confused, I think this is where my brain has been tickling with this, is that if neither one of you has any solid fucking actual proof, then you're both just presenting your side. Like, neither one of them can actually be like, you're wrong and you're insisting that you're right because they're doing the same thing with no actual proof in front of them. I know Richard has evidence, right? But they keep saying that the lurk is the exact same thing. So, like, the evidence that works for this also works for that.
Yeah.
Because of how we've been presented with it. So we don't actually get any new evidence from Richard to support his side other than him just being like, it called you mother. We knew that from the beginning. So, okay, cool. I don't know. You know what I mean? I just feel like
I follow you.
Pointing fingers at each other and nobody has evidence. So there's no way to end the conversation.
Until somebody has enough to be like, boom, see? End of discussion.
Yeah, we just need to hear
Then,
some chimes.
yeah, either we need to go on more of a fact-finding mission or we need to get the thing done and then no.
Yeah.
You know, but right now they're separated from Zed, who may or may not be handling the situation by himself, which is a whole nother thread that we're probably going to have to follow after we figure this out.
Yeah, we'll get there. So Richard does, at this point, because they're alone, They've been separated from everybody else, and he looks at her and he tells her the thing he hasn't wanted to tell her this whole time.
They're far enough away from people where he can finally tell her the truth.
Yes. And that is that she called the chimes.
It's her fault.
Yeah.
Kahlin, it's your fault. We're away from people. It's your fault.
It's your fault, but not maliciously. We all know that you didn't mean to do it. And you're not really guilty, but you are responsible. Does that make it feel better?
Yeah, I mean, Kahlin called the chimes because Richard needed help. It wasn't like a totally selfish thing she did. She was doing it on behalf of Richard, and it was absolutely necessary if Richard was to live. So he's not saying that, Kahlin, this is all happening because it's your fault. I mean, the chimes have rules they obey. They can't necessarily think and act differently because they're all being dicks right now. But Kahlin did what she had to do. So while it's not your fault, you did do it. It's your responsibility. Ultimately, our responsibility, but you did the thing.
You're not.
So we're both collectively responsible, but you will take the ultimate blame.
You're not really
Responsibility, not blame. Did I say blame? Who said blame? Not me.
You're not guilty, but do you have to clean up after everybody like you
kinda.
were?
Yeah. It's still on you, ultimately.
Yeah. So, for whatever reasons, I didn't want them to know that this is the truth of the situation, though.
Right.
Which, again, Craw in my fucking whatever.
Well, he sent them on a wild goose chase.
What's that saying? Something about a craw.
Stuck in your craw?
Something stuck in my craw.
Got her stuck in your craw.
Stuck in my craw about it. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, well, I'll tell you what's stuck in Richard's craw. The fact that Zed sent him on a wild goose chase, and he did it for some reason. Like, yeah, we know that he probably didn't want Kahlin to know that technically it's her fault, and we're going to get into some stuff here in a minute as to why that seems to actually be the case. But why does he not actually want them involved?
Zed, when we were in Zed's POV, it was alluded to the fact that he wanted to keep Richard safe because he feels like the chimes are going after Richard, despite evidence. So whatever. That's where it gets confusing, and we're going to keep going into that as we go through the book because there's some weirdness there.
Like there's a little thread here that maybe Zed doesn't fully trust Richard. Like he trusts him, right? You know, he's his grandson and he's the seeker and we raised him right. But
he's smarter. He knows better.
There's a reason Zed's like, nah, maybe I'll handle it, not him.
And you go hide in a hole until this is over, and I'll let you come out when you're ready.
Richard, go let the big boys play.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Kahlin is still resisting all of what Richard is fucking laying out here.
Yeah.
She just wants to trust Zed. And Richard decides to finally actually give her the evidence that he's been stacking up in his brain, which thank fucking God. Like,
yeah.
He should have started weeks ago. Why didn't you start with that, motherfucker?
Yeah, now we're at the closing arguments,
motherfucker.
Dude. Like, you should have done this right away. Now Kahlin's like... Fucking chicken sounds. And I know that means we would miss out on, like, nearly half a book so far, and that's a real bummer. But also, there's a little part of me... I've never understood this in movies. When people go watch a movie and they're like, it was just kind of a waste. It felt like a waste of time a little bit. Where this whole thing, I mean, that's the point. Richard didn't speak his mind. And now we have to go through all these jumps where all the characters need to re-understand each other. And it's like, wow, if that had happened right away, we'd still have the problem we have.
Yeah.
And then more of the book would be about kind of going after the problem that was initially set up in the premise of the book. Yeah. Am I way off base?
No, we could just fill the book with more of what we want. Like, we don't have time to fill in like what they talk about on their treks. Like, okay, let's have a conversation. Let's talk about some real fucking shit. You had some nippleless lady in your bed? How about that one? Let's talk about that for 5 seconds, Richard.
7% of the book should just be idle chat. That's one chapter to where it's just like absolutely nothing gets solved, but Richard and Kahlan are just hanging out, just living.
We don't even need to hear all of it, right? It just needs to be like a little fade in, like, and we're walking, and they're walking, and then all of a sudden, Richard or Kahlan exclaims, "You did what, motherfucker?" And he's like, "Kahlan, calm down," like, and then we fade back out.
It wasn't like that.
Yeah, and then we fade back out, just so we know that it's happening. You know what I mean? What Kahlan wants to see is Richard's reasons for actually fucking believing that this is the chimes. First one, spirit house, dead chicken. They were fucking dead chicken outside. Weird.
It's a sign.
It's a sign. Junie insulted the killer, was killed.
Another sign.
A plus B equals fucking chimes.
Dead
right?
person.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kahlan at that point interrupts. And you know what? I think at this point I need to interrupt.
Oh?
I can't go any farther in this episode without taking a very serious break for some beer.
Oh. Yeah, well, the most serious of breaks that need to be taken. Forget your hydration. You make sure you get your beer in you.
Well, I mean, it's kind of hydration. Like, depends on how much you drink of it.
I mean, it's...
we'll talk about it later.
Wet.
So I don't know about science and all that. We'll talk about it later. We'll be back with you guys in just a little bit here. Hey, Nate. What are we drinking?
We are drinking Rudy, Irish Stout from Lost Art Brewhouse.
Isn't that a movie?
Maybe. I don't think he was Irish. I don't know. This is a new place Jade and I just went to for the very, very first time. They've got a brewery and a kitchen. Everything was delicious.
It was great.
It was great. We tried one of these because I'm a big fan of dark beers and wanted to try something like that. We also had a few other very interesting beers, one of which will be on the next beer break, I believe, and is, I don't know, maybe one of my favorite beers ever to ever try in all of ever trying beer. It's up there. I'm gonna say top 3. But this one specifically, this is a staple. An Irish Stout is a beer that I always like to have on hand. It's one of my preferred styles of dark beer because usually you can down quite a few of them. And and they're not too heavy. They're not too strong, but they're just a solid choice. By the way, I haven't even said it yet. This guy clocks in at 5% by volume. I've got a pint here that is, it's empty. I finished it already because it was that good. I'm going to give this beer an 8 all day long.
If it was a nitro, what would you give it?
If it were a nitro, it would be a 9. It would be a 9, but they didn't put the little ball in. And that's not their fault because they said the ball wouldn't be in there on the stuff that we took home. So that's not their fault.
But Nate says it's super easy and they should have just done it.
It would be great if they did. But the one that I tried while we were there was nitro infused and a little bit better. But this one's not. And I'm going to rate the one that I've just tasted. And that's an 8. Still a great beer by all counts.
I will go ahead and give it about 8.5 clovers.
Ooh, higher.
Yeah, a little higher.
I mean, there's a clover on the can.
It's pretty smooth. I liked it. It was good. I'm going to have like 4 more tonight. It's going to be good.
Oh, no. That means I'm not getting any more.
Don't you worry about it because the rest of this episode is going to be great for everyone. And we're going to get to that right now. Hi, guys. Kahlan interrupts, wondering why the...
Moo!
Rude. Your name is not Kahlan.
No, that cow's name was Kahlan.
Well, fuck that cow. We need to make some hamburgers.
I mean, okay. That was so dumb. I'm sorry. Guys, I'm sorry for wasting everybody's time. I just wanted to make a cow joke.
Hey, that's okay. I almost decided we were going to go on a tangent about ham versus hamburgers and whatever. But the Kahlan from our book interrupts, asking why that the chicken didn't attack her when she insulted it. And Richard is like, man, it told you why.
What?
It's a chime and it fucking called you mom.
I love that so much. He reasons that because she's like, no, it was going to say mother confessor. And he's like, nah, it wasn't going to say confessor. It just said mother. You brought the chimes here.
And then you lied to people when you said what it said, and you told them that it said mother confessor, even though it only said mother, and then you started to believe your own lie. That's what happened.
That's what happened. That's what happened, Kahlin. Look, I love you. I respect you. That's why we came over here.
You gaslight
so I
yourself.
could say this part to you out loud away from everybody else.
Yeah.
Because it might be embarrassing that you've been doing this. But that is the way it is.
That's what happened.
So, but there's kind of a plus side to this.
They respect her for bringing them into the world.
That's right.
Because, that's their goddamn mom.
She is the life giver. I call Jade this all the time when she makes dinner.
Yeah, I don't think I made
you
the right
made the
noise.
children, you make the dinner, you are the life giver.
Yeah,
we need you to live.
Yeah, and that's the only reason that she's still alive is because they're alive, so she's alive. You know what I mean? It's a
You
life
feed
loop.
us, so we protect you. Raw.
But I kind of think that if she really was the mom, all she would have to say is, I brought you into this world and I can take you back out, and then they would fucking listen.
Like she just snaps her fingers, points at the ground, gives them the look and says, hey, knock it off.
Yeah.
And they just go, oh, guys,
She's serious.
we've been going too hard. We need to level down. Mom's mad.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If they really believe this, all she would have to do is just give him a real stern look and be like,
slowly slink down to her. Sorry, Mom.
yeah.
I didn't mean to burn that lady.
I brought you
didn't
into
mean
this
to
world.
drown that kid.
Take you
I
back
didn't
out.
mean to throw that woman off a cliff. We'll be
Oh,
better.
Oopsies.
That is... Richard's like, have you just tried telling him to stop?
Yeah. Have you just
No, Richard.
Have you tried parenting?
Huh.
Kahlan is now resolute that they need to stop them. Richard doesn't know how, but the first step is recognizing the problem, right?
Always
Recognizing
the
problem.
first. Yeah, exactly. But as a guy with 2 teenagers right now, buddy, I don't fucking know what to tell you. I don't know where the first step in starting that either is.
It's because you gotta start from when they're little. You gotta start from the beginning.
That's
Right.
actually right. Both of my kids are very well behaved, so
Yeah,
I
foundations.
think that's really what it is. You're just too late. Sorry.
Yeah, you done fucked the pooch now.
You got 3 shitheads on your hands.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you
Yeah.
now.
I don't
You
know how
ruined
to help
them.
at this point. Ooh, that's,
You brought them into a traumatic situation, and now they're angry and they're killing people, and there's nothing you can do.
That is the most uncomfortable place to be, though. Like when your coworker comes up to you and they're like, guess what my shithead child has been doing? And you're like, oh. And they're like, look, what do you do when your kid does X, Y, Z? And I'm like,
What do you do when your child pushes some woman off a cliff?
when your child talks to you and then pushing your child. Yeah, that's a better one. Pushing somebody off a chiff.
Off a chiff. Yeah.
Off a chiff. And then you have to look at them and go, ooh.
My kid doesn't do that, actually.
Actually never
Wow.
had a body at the bottom of the cliff at my house.
Yikos.
My phone is ringing and I gotta go. Bye.
Bye. This has been really weird talking to you, Bill.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully we won't. Okay. Yeah, see ya.
Okay, so she wondered why they were outside the spirit house when they were fucking, and he suspects they just wanted to be near her.
Want to be my mom.
They just want to be close, like my bucker.
She's making brothers.
That's my cat. I was talking about my cat.
You were talking about your
It
cat.
sounded weird when I said it. So I just wanted to clarify what I was talking about. Kahlan chooses this moment to ask about fatal graces. Since he had randomly fucking brought that up just like a couple chapters ago. And he was like, hey, that's from Kolo's writings. I don't share that with anybody either. These are all just my secret things. The thing that he was remembering, right, is this little phrase from Kolo. Mark well my words, and beware the chimes, and if need be great, draw for yourself thrice on the barren earth, and sand, and salt, and blood, a fatal grace.
Ooh, thank you. Very nice.
Thanks.
See, it feels good to read the thing out, doesn't it?
Yeah, isn't it weird how there was like 2 people clapping and there's only 2 of us in the room? We had extra audience members. I didn't clap for myself. That would be weird. Richard doesn't know what that little phrase meant, but he hoped that the old smart people did. That's why he asked them about it.
Yeah, they'll get it.
And they didn't. So it occurs to him that that may have just been a suicide option. So maybe let's not just try that for fun some night.
I mean, it is called the fatal grace.
Yeah.
Something's gonna die, one would assume.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's why he's like, yes, I was asking for more information. We are not going to experiment with that because it might be bad. Like, it might be real bad.
Literally just wanted to know what it was, guys.
Yeah. Feels like maybe you could have, like, I don't know, looked in your library before you left, but that's fine. So the conversation swivels around to Kolo's comment about it being a simple weapon that is easily fixed. It being the chimes.
Yeah, it turns out whatever the solution was, it's easier than maybe they think it is right now. Or at least they're reading about how the people in the past were surprised that it wasn't actually that hard to fix.
Kolo specifically was surprised. So you know what I
Correct.
mean? Like, it all comes through.
I mean, yeah, there's a filter,
yeah.
but I mean, they're also talking about, oh, look, this is easily fixed. And here Richard and Kahlan are dealing with them.
Yeah.
So was it fixed or was it like band-aided?
Yeah. But how annoying is it when you're like trying to figure out a puzzle and somebody else is like, it's super easy. You're like, don't tell me.
Oh my God, I can't believe I didn't see it before.
But fuck.
All you have to do is turn the page. Nothing.
Damn it.
You motherfucker. No, you motherfucker.
He didn't write the solution down. He just mentioned the mountain.
The mountain.
The mountain.
The mountain.
The mountain. She asked about weapons that might work against the chimes, but Kolo never mentioned any of those either. And so they're just kind of up shit creek right now as far as, like, Kolo gave him some info, but not enough to actually be useful in defeating these things.
I got everything I need. All you have to do is go get a rock.
No.
And then you just go to the mountain and throw the rock at the mountain. We have all the information, Jade. This is all we need to do. Trust me.
You've seen Game of Thrones though too, where the mountain was like a big motherfucker who would just like rip your head off.
If you threw a rock at him? No, see, I've got this covered. I figure I am faster than that guy. I could outrun him. And so I could huck a rock because he's big. Now, if he got his hands on me, it's fucking over. So, I mean, I've got insurance set up for that. But like...
Do you think he could huck a rock back at you? Potentially?
Yeah, for sure. Probably harder than I could huck a rock.
Ooh,
so,
strategery.
Yeah, zigzag pattern, like you're running from a crocodile.
Well, Zed
left, right, left.
Emphatic about getting the Sword of Truth back. And Richard doesn't think he would have lied about that piece of information, so that might actually be the only piece of magic that still works.
Yeah, and the whole bullshit errand I'm sending you to do, the one thing you really do need to do is get the sword. Oh my God, is that really the only reason he sent Richard back? Is that so he would get the sword, like kind of by default?
2 things. Yes, and second thing, why would you be mean to Aaron when he's not here and just like say bullshit Aaron?
What? Oh, I was so confused. I was like, I did not. What are you talking about?
We have fun.
He's just not here because he didn't want to be. That's all.
That's all. No big deal.
I'm kidding.
So why would the chimes run from Richard, right? He suspects it is due to his subtractive magic.
I'm big, scary.
Yeah.
Boo.
Ha!
But they're made out of subtractive magic, so I would kind of feel like they'd be more attracted to him because that's what they thrive off.
I think that the point is that the wizards of old that were able to get rid of them had subtractive magic as well. And they are of subtractive magic, but they're only here because of additive magic. So the only thing that could get rid of them theoretically,
I'm listening.
is subtracting the additive magic that's keeping them alive, right?
Okay.
Maths.
So they're subtractive magic, but they need additive magic to live.
Right.
So Richard has subtractive magic, i.e. Richard has the ability to minus the plus they need to stay alive.
Right, maths.
So then it maths. And then so they respect Richard a little bit more because while they love Kahlan, don't want to hurt her, he could probably hurt them.
He could subtracts them.
He could subtracts them. Exactly. There you go.
Yes.
Because magic.
Because magic maths.
Because subtracts magic.
Yeah. At the mention of their wedding bonfire, which they end up talking about randomly, he tells her that it had been, well, not really randomly. Kahlan asks about it, and he's like, yeah, it was Centrosi, which, duh, I literally said it when we were looking at it then. So I don't know why you brought it up now. I just said it. I said it from the beginning, Kahlan.
When he was looking at the bonfire.
It is a second chime. Riccini?
You got to reach for it. You got to reach for it. And then little Anakin Skywalker's short name. Annie. Well, it's not Richani. It's Richani.
Richani.
It's Anakin's name in Europe. There. Richani. There you go.
Richani is the first water. And,
and it's from Jersey, apparently.
It's the first time.
Richani
it's
is
water. It's water.
That's New York.
Vasi is the third, and it means air. That wasn't really an accent. That was just air.
Water?
Water?
That's Jersey.
Water?
Water? That's New York.
Water?
Yeah.
Water?
And I thought Vasi should have been the one for water because vase.
Water?
But, that's just my... I don't know. New Zealand? I'm not sure where that one is.
I was trying to pull from that part of the world.
I can't do it personally, no.
I don't know which one I was going for. One of those islands down there.
One of them. We ought to go and get that figured out.
Yeah. Kahlan floats the idea that, you know how you think that they think I'm their mommy? I think that maybe they think that you're their daddy. Like the little bird, yeah, from that book. Dr. Seuss.
Are you talking about, are you my mom?
Are you my mother?
Are you my mother?
Are you my mother?
Are you my mother?
Ew. I don't like that. I don't like that.
Yeah, no, they didn't either.
You know why I don't like that? Because you took a child, a little innocent baby child, and then you made it like a demon. And that's my least favorite thing.
Creepy kids.
Yeah, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna take a break, and I'm gonna go stomp around because I'm so upset now. And we'll be back right after this.
Okay.
Ew! And we're back!
Oh my gosh! So cool.
So Richard doesn't think it's just the daddy of the situation. There's more to it. He also notes that he feels...
Yeah, he's like, that's not my kid. That is not my kid. No, how dare you? Not my kid.
He also notes that he feels lust and loathing when they're near, which is it would be concerning.
You should never feel either of those emotions strongly around children, I would argue.
Yeah, you should not feel that way towards children, or I think that he's trying to say that he thinks that that's how they feel about him, and I feel like that's also problematic.
It's the vibes that they're getting from him, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I hear Kahlan, but I also hear Richard that, no, vibes are off.
This is going to be a real Doors vibe, you know what I mean?
No.
The guy from the Doors who famously was like, Mom, I want to fuck you, and Dad, I want to kill you.
Is that Cat in the Cradle?
It's the... No.
I don't know music. I don't know.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't know what's happening.
Okay, we're going to have to watch a few videos after this. What is that, Double Guns?
No, that was Clippity. Clippity. No one has to know about my ignorance. Clippity.
Hey, that's okay. A lot of people don't know about that. But it's a thing that happened in music and weirdly, specifically applies to this situation. Possibly.
Oh.
Possibly.
Kahlan does say that she makes a little comment about how Shota always said we would conceive a monstrous offspring.
Again, I told you, Kahlan, not my kid. Stop saying it.
Oh, what I thought was interesting is that's not what he says. What he says to her as he cups her cheek is, someday, Kahlan.
Someday, baby.
Someday. And I just think that that's an odd response when she said, we will conceive a monstrous offspring. Like, isn't the goal that, no, we won't, babe? Our baby will be an angel? Like, she's wrong? It's a weird thing that he's like, yes, babe, someday we'll create a little fucking demon baby. It's gonna be great.
I mean, I want to liken this to the way I would talk to you. Like, hell yeah, we're going to make a little demon baby. That kid's going to kick fucking ass. But, like, I don't really mean the word demon. I just mean, you know, our little offspring. Yeah. Yeah, like that.
He's gonna eat her face. Not really, but yeah, kind of.
But, like, in a cool way. Where it's not problematic.
Yeah. In a real
cool.
In a real metal way, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it has a lot to do with being cool now that I think about it. And Richard's just not about that. He's just like, no. But I don't think that's really where this is coming from.
No, I don't think it is either. I just think it was a misstep in the conversation for me. Kahlan does try to look at silver linings here and say, hey, at least your gang won't be able to use magic either, right? Even playing field. We talked about this a little bit.
Yeah, we just don't know what order that's all going to happen in, and that may cause some extra complications, but we're not there yet.
The other thing that we hadn't been talking about is the subtractive of it all. So Richard points out that the SOD, the SODs, are going to have subtractive magic still.
Okay, the SOD's got the sub. SOD sub sandwich. Do you want that roasted or toasted?
Always.
Fuck yeah.
But he's the only one on their side that's going to have that. So, like, distinct disadvantage.
Yeah, that's like, I don't remember offhand how many Jagang's supposed to have. I feel like the number is more than just the characters we've been introduced to.
We know that they had the wizards that they were, like, working with that we weren't all introduced to, but a lot of those died to give the Sods their power, right? Because they took the male Han.
Yeah. But how many of those sisters are left?
I think the Sods are just the ones we've seen, but there might be more.
So I'm thinking half dozen?
Yeah, around there. 7-ish. We could name them, but I'm not going to. Keyboard.
Still, that's like 2 for 2 you've gotten me recently, Jade. Holy shit.
So Kahlan goes back to the only hope being Zed and Anne, but Richard says they're going to be helpless without that sub magic, you know?
Yeah, I'm a little bit hungry now and actually wouldn't mind going to get some sub magic after this.
Sub magic.
Sub magic. I'll take mine rogue.
Kahlan chides him for not remembering, the first wife of it all and how they could have just, like, headed this off at the beginning if they had told Zed about all of it, and he can't really argue about that.
For all the shit we gave Kahlan about maybe being a little wrong or giving him a hard time and the miscommunications that happened here, and then Richard pulling her aside to be like, hey, look, I love you, but essentially this is your fault. Kahlan's right.
Yeah.
She is 100% right here. Look, a lot of this could have been avoided had you just fucking came out with it.
Also, I just want to say, Mr. Rawl was in the Temple of the Winds, right? With all the knowledge of everything and all the magic and all the worlds.
Yeah.
And he came back and he took the plague onto himself. I'm sorry, but I'm pretty sure that when he did that, he probably knew that the only way to save himself was for Kahlan to say the chimes. So I think it's all Richard's fault because he came back from the Temple of the Winds and set this all in motion, which I mean, I know that we needed him to do in the end, but also, like, he would have known that. He would have had the knowledge because he was, like, the most powerful, smart wizard of all time when he was there, right?
Did he tell her that?
No, because he forgot when he came back, but while he was there, he knew it.
While he was there, he would have known, but he was unable to tell her that.
Yeah, but he set this all in motion. So whose fault is it really, Richard?
Oh.
That's my point.
Jung jung. Or I guess that's the wrong show. Never mind.
Yeah, that's us for you. I
Not
think.
the father.
Anyway, they go back to the group, and Kahlan announces that she is convinced that the chimes are loosed.
That's right. The facade has been broken.
There's no lurk
There's no lurk.
or anything like that.
God damn it, Zed.
Mother trucker.
How fast do you think Richard starts to run in a straight line exactly towards Zed? Just maintains his intensity. It is just like, "Yeah, motherfucker, I'm gonna chew his ass out so fucking bad when I see him."
Honestly, he should, because he's not that far. Like, they're still within the Mud People land.
That's what I'm saying. They haven't fully left yet. So Zed is like just right over there.
Zed's an old man.
Yeah, he ain't
Richard
outrunning you.
Richard talks about having to track him, but I'm like, honestly.
And we know that Zed doesn't have a sliff token, so he can't just bounce in the middle of wherever either. So it's going to be a slow walk. Richard could totally catch up to him. He needs to go right now.
Plus, we know that Zed got a little one in before he left, so he's probably still there with Nissel right now.
A little one
as we
and a
talk.
meal. I mean, he's not
Right.
going to leave on an empty stomach. I
Right.
mean, that would be barbaric.
Empty balls, full stomach. That's how you gotta leave.
That's the fucking way. That's the way of the wizard.
Today's wizard note.
Hell yeah. Ooh, I like that one.
Well, that's our truth, and we would love to hear yours. Write to us in your journey books to podcastatt@gmail.com or find us on any of our social medias.
Glug, glug, glug.
If you would like to support this podcast and hear some more wonderful exclusive content, find us over on patreon.com/podcastatt, where every tier is a happy tier. Thank you all for listening.
Yeah.
That's all for us, friends.
We'll see you real soon.
Bye.